Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel, so let's get straight into it.
It's like it's Minute Maid, hijack 4, renegade, 24, number 8, Kobe fade away, ballin' since 11th grade, still in school, let them hate.
Trae Young and Luka Doncic are some of the most fun, genuine, and joyful young players to watch today that somehow have been made out to be enemies by the media. Because of two things, of course. First things first, that trade that happened back in June of 2018, and also just how well both of these players have been playing their third season into the NBA. They will forever be linked together and their careers will be compared and contrasted well after their playing days are done. What a lot of people fail to do though is comment below under this video and also leave a like to make sure that this channel doesn't die. But outside of that, on the real, what people don't realize is that they've been doing this argument the completely wrong way. There was a very important asset that was moved along with Trae Young. Trae Young was not the only piece involved in the Luka Doncic and Trae Young trade. That asset involved was a first round pick with, of course, protections on it. Once that transaction was made though, not only was Trae moved to the Hawks, but also potentially, which did end up happening, a first round pick. And that first round pick ended up being Cameron Reddish. So, did Cam Reddish die or something? Why do y'all have convos about Luka and Trae as if they were the only moving parts? No, that is not the case at all. If no 2019 pick from the Mavs was a part of this trade, then that means no Luka magic to the Mavs, and they would have been stuck with Dennis Smith Jr., who is, by the way, roaming around the league. And man's went from the Knicks to Detroit now, I believe. His career is for real about to be over. Cam Reddish was an essential piece to this trade, and when evaluating this trade and trying to determine the winner and loser, you must throw Cam Reddish into the mix as well. And still, when you do that, the Hawks still lost. But hey, this was a prideful L that, as a Hawks fan, I can admit was an L, of course, for now. You see, the thing about Cam Reddish though is that Cam Reddish isn't the type of prospect that you want to give up on too early. Look at what he was known for back in his high school days, that Nike IBL league and his AU and all those other things before college. Cam Reddish was that dude, and he was ranked like he was like a top 5 player coming out of high school. He was that dangerous and that type of a killer. His build, physique, and just finesse on the offensive side of the court and athleticism reminded so many people like myself of Tracy McGrady and also Paul George. That was one of his biggest comparisons. Cam earned his respect around the streets, it's just that he couldn't translate that respect into college and also the NBA. Really the NBA, I'd say. Nobody cares about him being 6'8", being hella athletic and also a good handle, and at least used to have a respectable shot too. Like, all that rep is out the window. Nobody could give a damn. Once he stepped foot onto the NBA, you can tell. Cam in his rookie season, in the simplest way to put it, just rough. It was easy to tell that he was unconfident, and teams even started to leave him open. Excuse me, not just any type of open, bro. I'm talking wide open. In some games, they leave him like Ben Simmons type of open, and that is I just hiccuped. Very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful because those exact same type of shots back in those high school days were heavily contested and guarded, and he would still make them in people's faces. So in the big leagues, to have grown men openly disrespect you is some serious pain, and that would have caused me some trauma. I put that on my mom. Ooh, I got bars. In Cam Reddish's rookie season, he was in his head like a heck of a lot. His confidence issues led him to being indecisive, thus rushing himself and making really stupid decisions with the ball in his hand. To complete his rookie season, he averaged 10 points per game on pretty bad efficiency, and this season he's putting up pretty similar numbers as well. But a great sign about Cam last year was that during his last 17 games before the season just randomly shut down thanks to Rudy Gobert, he was averaging 15 points per game on 48% shooting from the field and 40 from 3. I was hoping that he would carry on that massive growth that he showed towards the end of last season to the beginning of this season. That's not crazy to ask or to expect, right? Alright? I'm just gonna stop saying right and pretend like you agree with me, so this just doesn't get weird and I don't look like a psychopath, even though I low-key am. Cam Reddish indeed did continue the streak that he was on last year, but so far he's only done it for the very first 4 games of the season. During the first 4 games of the season, man's averaged like 13-5 and 2 and 2 on 43% shooting from the field, 38 from 3, and 79% from the free throw line. Bro, that's great. That's amazing. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first saw him throw out those first 3-4 games, I was like, yo, this man Cam Reddish, he's hitting kind of different these days. And this is the type of Cam Reddish that a lot of Hawks fans are willing to invest into. A lot of Hawks fans like me, myself, thought that Cam Reddish was going to be possibly our second best player on the roster, or maybe even third. He had that type of potential, not expectation, but then again, I preface this potential. He didn't have that type of expectation placed on him yet because, of course, that putrid college season that he had, and also he doesn't strike anybody as the most talkative or confident person out there in the world either. And when it comes to these college prospects or prospects coming into the NBA, confidence is the most important thing. Your mentality isn't right, bro, you can't do anything on the court and just life in general. I feel like I figured out Cam Reddish though in his game. Yes, he is sometimes, once in a while, or at least for the most part, a joy to watch on the basketball court. Just seeing him move so fluidly with the basketball. But the thing about Cam Reddish separates him from some of the greatest and elite ball handlers in the league is his ability to accelerate and decelerate and keep his composure. Cam looks like he's lost sometimes out there on the court. It looks so riddled when he has a competent defender in front of him sometimes. His confidence just sways left to right day to day. And because of that, I'm not too sure whether or not Cam Reddish would be a reliable, steady, and always ready ball handler for the Atlanta Hawks, just like DeAndre Hunter, the guy that we thought was supposed to be worse than Cam Reddish in the future, is right now. These days, whenever Cam Reddish has the ball in his hands, most of the time I am cringing. Cringing because of how much control he has with the ball in his hands, which is little to none. He just rushes himself way too often. Some games he looks like he can be that third or maybe even potentially secondary ball handler that the Atlanta Hawks desperately need one day next to Trae Young, and other days he just looks like a bona fide role player who will screw your team up if he's out there playing too many minutes. And so far this season, way more than even I myself anticipated, he's been that type of role player that you don't want out there for too many minutes because he's gonna start making bonehead plays. And since his shot is not going down either, he's literally, it's sad to say, just been making a positive impact on the defensive end. And yes, that is great, still great and really appreciated for the Atlanta Hawks, but that great defense means absolutely nothing if he's just gonna do nothing but turn the ball over and throw up absolute bricks whenever he shoots a three-pointer. Cam Reddish just needs to be better, and I believe that he can be better and he will be better. Just maybe not as good as some people predicted him to be. It is important to know that Cam was not expected to be a 15 to 20 point per game scorer in his first or second year. Hence had and still has issues. I believe he has more mental issues on the court when it comes to him not realizing how talented he is, and because of that he consistently sells himself short. Cam still of course shows flashes of greatness and that elite two-way, not one-way potential that he has. Cam's display against the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant was absolutely outstanding during the beginning of the season. I need to see more of that Cam Reddish. We need to see more of that Cam, but until then, whether or not the Hawks lost this trade, the results remain inconclusive. Aw, who am I kidding? We lost this trade, but it is not absolutely one-sided. It's more 60-40, with Trae Young as is alone and Cam Reddish playing like dog poop. Cam Reddish at least being a borderline all-star in the same tier as a maybe Drew Holiday, for example, damn sure make this trade, looking back at it, a lot more 50-50. But until Cam gets better, this Luka versus Trae talk will continue to have me feeling under the weather. I'm in my bag. This is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here on this channel and seeing what I have to talk about today. I ain't gonna lie, that is really weird of you to do, but at the same time, that is hella dope of you to do as well. As always, go ahead and leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that. Follow me on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And until then, I'll get right with you.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made the surf, free the way, told my girl who'd ever